Hello trainers, Sharkunel here with another in my series of videos. This was a practice video for the regional tournaments. I finally turned from Nightmare Cup to trying to get ready for the regionals, and in this video I have a series of battles with a couple of sparring partners and just learning to use the mainstream meta picks, nothing really off meta that much. If you like this type of content, please hit subscribe and like the video to help spread the word about this channel and to make sure you don't miss any of the upcoming content. So with that, let's get straight to the video. First series of videos is with my sparring partner Retrocity. Here's the two teams we used. As you can see, we're both using pretty mainstream meta picks here. We just really are getting into this to try to figure out the matches and the uses of the meta before we decide whether to go off meta for the tournament. So a couple of switch-ins here. I'm using Haunter to try to see if it's worth the hype. So I get a Shadow Ball off. He blocks with his Azumarill. And Haunter should be able to take care of either Medicham or Azumarill. I don't think I played the shielding right here because he takes me out with Haunter. So I swap into Skarmory. He brings the Hydro Pump, which does over half of Skarmory's damage. I get off the Sky Attack, and I'm able to take out the Azumarill. So he brings in Tentacool. He was trying to use Tentacool, which is a little bit of a fringe meta pick. I'm not convinced whether or not it's the best pick in this meta. I know a lot of people are talking about the acid spray on it, but Skarmory is able to take him out with some Sky Attack, so he brings in Medicham and he takes out my Skarmory, and I've got my Medicham with the health advantage. So in the race, I think I'm going to win this battle using Ice Punch. He's going to get off another Ice Punch, but I'm going to get off the last power-up punch to finish off Medicham. So good game on that one. Now I think I'm going to take most of these battles, this series of battles that I've included from Retrocity, but understand he has just started his preparation, and I don't think all of his Pokemon are optimized yet with second moves. We're really just sparring to figure out the matchups and the usages and try to learn to use these meta Pokemon, so I don't put much stock in the results here. So I start with Azumarill here. He shields up with Skarmory. Sky Attack does pretty nice damage to Azumarill. Trying to get to the Hydro Pump. I'm able to get to the Hydro Pump. He shields, so I've got a 2-0 shield advantage here. He does take out Azumarill, so I bring in Medicham. He swaps out to Azumarill. I swap out to Haunter. Again, trying to see if Haunter is living up to the hype of being able to take both Medicham and Azumarill. So I get to the Shadow Ball. He's out of shields. So if you can land a Shadow Ball on Azumarill, absolutely Haunter can take it out. But I think the key is having to land a Shadow Ball. I'm using the Shadow Ball variant, and as you can see, if your opponent is out of shields, Haunter can blast through a couple of Pokemon there. He took out Venusaur with one Shadow Ball. There's some debate as to whether Shadow Ball or the Sludge Bomb is the better second charge move, but I'm using the Shadow Ball variety. So I'm able to take another game. So we were just doing game after game after game. So I lead this time with Bastiodon. He leads with Melmetal. I think Bastiodon wins this head-to-head matchup. So he bails, brings in Azumarill. I think I already had the Stone Edge in process when he bailed. But I'm going to fight it out here with Bastiodon, just to see how Bastiodon can do. I think Stone Edge is the better attack to use. I don't know that Flamethrower is going to do much against Azumarill, but Bastiodon is doing pretty good damage with his fast move, but he takes me out with a Hydro Pump. So I bring Azumarill in for the mirror. We're even on shields. I'm going to tank this Ice Beam and try to farm up a little. So my Azumarill's got a charge ready. He brings back in the Melmetal. I block it. And I swap out to Medicham. So I think Medicham's a pretty favorable matchup against Melmetal here. So he swaps out to the mirror match. He's got a little bit of the health advantage here. So I'm trying to use the Ice Punches to get a little more damage in on him. See if I can catch him. He burns the last shield. And he's able to take out my Medicham. So now I've got a Azumarill left, but I'm charged up with a Hydro Pump. So with no shields left, there goes his Medicham. And he's got Melmetal left. I have a health advantage here. And again, this is an illustration where I don't think he had a second move on Melmetal. I think he had the rock move. Had he hit me with the electric move, I think he wins that battle. Got a TM there. So again, I think this we just continue doing the rematch here. I start with Skarmory. He's got a Azumarill. I don't think this is a real mismatch either way, depending on shield usage. I get the Sky Attack going. He does not shield it. Does decent damage. And Sky Attack charges up sneaky fast, although he clearly had charge move priority here in this one, I think. So he blocks. We're at even shielding again. Yeah, he's getting to the charge move first. So I decide to burn both shields to try to get on the other side of Azumarill here. Skarmory, but he uses his shield as well. So all shields are off the field. And he knocks out the Skarmory with a sliver of health left. So Haunter comes in, gets rid of Azumarill. He brings Skarmory, which takes care of Haunter. I swap out to Azumarill. So we've kind of got the reverse of what we had to start with. With no shields left, I get off the Hydro Pump, which does pretty good damage to Skarmory, and Azumarill is able to take it out. I have energy advantage, so I'm able to get off Hydro Pump on Medicham with no shields, and I'm even able to survive to take a couple of more bubbles on Medicham. So he's charged up. He brings an Ice Punch. Haunter is able to survive one of those, barely, and I get off the Shadow Punch and take out the Medicham. So Haunter's doing fairly well here. If you can get the right matchup and if you can land particularly a Shadow Ball, Haunter could do big damage. So I'm fairly pleased with Haunter's performance. Medicham versus Medicham, the I Dream of Genie matchup. He gets charge move priority. Power up punch. I know the sequence a lot of people use is to do a power up punch and then ice punches, but it seems to me if you can get ahead in the health battle using ice punches, just from the get-go. Depending on shield usage, you can win this battle. You might want to do power-up punch if you intend to bail at the end, so that you can charge up your attack stat. So I've got the shield advantage. He was able to take out my Medicham. I bring in Azumarill. So he brings in Venusaur. Hydro Pump did surprisingly a good amount of damage. So I've got Skarmory to bring in. I think Skarmory handles Venusaur pretty well. So I farmed up a little, and now I've got Skarmory versus Skarmory with he has health advantage, I have energy advantage. So he uses his last shield. And I have shields to burn here. So I'm able to get to the flash cannon. Does pretty good damage. I use the last shield. Get to the sky attack. He's out of shields, and so am I now, but gets me back even health-wise. He is able to take me out with a sliver, so one tap from Azumarill finishes the battle. So another good game to Retrocity. I think this is the last battle that I included in the video. We went off meta and did a bunch of other battles after this, but for this video I wanted to keep it to the mainstream meta ones, because that's what we were really trying to learn how to use. So Haunter versus Medicham, I get to the Shadow Ball, he blocks, but Haunter's doing good damage just with the fast attack. So he gets to Tentacruel, he switches to Tentacruel. I get off the Shadow Ball and he does not shield. And again, if you can land a Shadow Ball with Haunter, it's going to do big damage to almost anybody. So he brings in Skarmory. I have to swap out. I swapped out the Bastiodon there. I think that wasn't a swap. I think he just killed my first Pokemon. So he uses the Sky Attack, which does very little. This is a very favorable matchup to Bastiodon. Bastiodon versus Skarmory. I think Bastiodon is kind of a wall to Skarmory. So I'm able to hang on long enough to get off a Flamethrower. He has to bring Skarmory back in. And able to finish out that match. So good games to Retrocity. Now I have a 3-battle set, and this is actually a tournament set with Mori29, who is a member of the PvP Discord with me and in the lobby with me, and we are doing a practice regional tournament. So this is actually the tournament set between Mori and I for our practice unranked tournament on one of the PvP Discords. So I start with Medicham, he brings Bastiodon, he swaps out to Azumarill, I swap out to Haunter. Again, I'm using that same pretty mainstream meta team to really practice with the meta before I decide to go off meta if I'm going to. So he shields, I shield. I get to the Shadow Ball. And once again, if you can land that Shadow Ball, big damage. So he takes out Haunter with Tropius. I bring in Medicham. I think he's going to block this Ice Punch. He does. So I was surprised. I was actually able to tank one Leaf Blade, but I couldn't get off the charge move. So I've got Bastiodon here. He swaps out to the mirror match, but he's got Tropius sitting in the back. So this isn't looking particularly good for me. The Bastiodon versus Bastiodon head-to-head takes forever, and we're relatively even, but he nailed me with a flash cannon. That's an off-meta move for Bastiodon, so that took me by surprise a little bit there. Did pretty decent damage. So he hits me with another flash cannon. I've got the Stone Edge, but again, he's got another Mon sitting there. So even if I can win this, I'm still sunk in the battle. I'm hoping I could get to the charge move first and be charged up for Tropius, but he's able to get there first and takes me out. So good game to Mori29. So he's 1-0 in the best of 3 for this tournament match. So game 2, I think I changed it up a little. I'm not recalling exactly what I led with. We'll see here in a moment. So I went with Skarmory. He goes with Azumarill. So I don't think this is a wall either way. I think this one depends on shield usage. So I get to the Sky Attack first. Azumarill doesn't charge up particularly quickly. I tank the Ice Beam. He's used his shield, so I have a 2-to-1 shield advantage right now. I get to the second Sky Attack. He does not shield that one. I elect to shield this one. So we're back to 1-1 shields. He bails, brings in Bastiodon. I bring in Medicham. So this is a good match. I don't think I need to shield, but I do. I think I was worried about that flash cannon. If you have the standard Bastiodon moves, I don't think you need to shield, but that flash cannon took me off guard. So I did burn his shield there, and he's up with shield advantage, and I have a charged up Medicham here, although he brings in a charged up Azumarill. So Medicham can tank 1 Ice Beam. I get off the Ice Punch and a Power Up Punch, which charges up quickly. I'm able to take out the Azumarill. He's got Tropius, can't get to another charge move. But I've got 2 Mons here, so I bring in Azumarill, which I don't know is a particularly good matchup with Tropius, but I have Skarmory sitting in the back, so I'm hoping I can do a chunk of damage with Azumarill and then bring Skarmory in to finish it off. But I think my Skarmory is partially depleted, and it's mostly depleted. So it was charged up. I get off a Sky Attack. He's got no shields left, so now it's kind of a race, and Skarmory is just that tough to the moves that Tropius has. So I'm able to sneak out the second game victory. So here's the rubber match between myself and Mori in this tournament battle. So I get a favorable matchup on the lead. He's going to have to bail. He bails. I bring in Azumarill. So I'm just trying to race to that play rough, burn his shields. He does burn one there. He uses Power Up Punch, which doesn't do much to Azumarill. He's going to get to another Power Up Punch, which again doesn't do much, but he is eroding me with the counter fast move there. So I get to the play rough. He does not shield. That takes out Medicham. Magnezone. Wasn't really prepared for this Mon, but he gets off the discharge. I had some energy built up, so I decided to shield. I really don't know what play rough does, but he burned his second shield there. So he takes me out, but I have shield advantage, which I frankly expend to protect Medicham. So Medicham, I think, is a good matchup versus Magneton. I take him out, and he had Bastiodon coming in. So with an almost fully charged Medicham, This is in my favor, and I'm going to be able to take the third game from Mori 29. So good game to Mori 29. And thank you everybody for watching. I like to keep these videos down to about 20 minutes. I'm probably going to do another one with practicing with a lot of more off-meta Pokemon as I try to prepare for the Regional Cup. I still have 10 days to get ready. The cup in my area isn't happening until the 26th. So thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more on the next video.